Yo, what is poppin' YouTube? What is poppin' everybody? How y'all doing? It's Shammy Deep back with another video. It is November 7th, 2025. And just checking in and see how you guys are doing. I think a lot of things are going on in the world right now. A lot of people are kind of stressed out. A lot of people are going through financial difficulties, emotional difficulties and mental blocks. And I think it's like a really important time to just be in isolation. Not in a sense where don't talk to people, don't go outside type of thing, but just be in a state of, where you don't need to be around people all the time. Some of us, we're in relationships that are not benefiting us. We're in situations that are not helping us, not improving our lives, just kind of taking away from our soul and our spirit, our energy. And I think, right now especially is a time for everyone to lock in with themselves, be able to focus on whatever it's going through your mind and whatever you feel in your heart. It's time to focus on that, And, I kind of just woke up today just in the mood to just deliver a message, and the messages that I have always come from God, always come from a higher power. The universe channels these thoughts, these feelings through me so I can express it to the people, whether that be through my music, through my words, my actions. My job is just to relay the message to you guys. So today's message is basically just isolation, being able to focus on yourself, being able to improve oneself through that time of being in isolation and solitude. So I think right now we're in a place that we're in a place in history, in time, that people don't know where to go. People are lost, people are stuck, people are feeling they don't know their place in the universe. They don't know what's going to happen next, Like, just this week alone, so much has happened, Dick Cheney, the first Muslim mayor, a plane crash, Trump cutting the funds of food stamps, and government workers still not getting paid. Like, a lot is going on right now. And it's up to the American people to kind of see what's happening, analyze it, and then give their opinion on what can we do to help the situation that's going on. As far as like the people who are depending on food stamps and government assistance, I did see that a couple celebrities or people who have wealth, they're donating money. Now, to what extent, I don't know. Just headlines I see, but I do think that's something that needs to be done. I think people who have the ability to give should be giving in a time right now that we're all going through. The country's officially in a recession. Honestly, we've been in a recession since 2020, to being 100. But yeah, man, I think right now is a really important time to hone in on what you want to do with your life and what your impact is going to be on this world. Like, for me, I wake up every day thinking about what my legacy is going to be here on earth. And I'm not talking about just creating a family. Obviously, that's another legacy that I want to have, is leave my offsprings and this and that. But I'm talking about what impact are you going to have on this planet when they write this chapter in the history books. Will your name be in there? Will your foundation be in there? Will your voice be in there? You know, like, I get it, not everyone is able to get to the world stage and be heard or seen, but you can still have an impact on people, whether it be in your community, whether it be in your environment, online, you know, your ecosystem, wherever you have people's attention. What type of impact are you going to make? Even if it's just a handful of people, what impact are you going to make on their lives? Before you leave this world, I just feel like everybody should be waking up thinking about that. What, like, their signature that you engrave on this earth, that people from in the future, they'll know that, oh yeah, this person was here and they did this and that when they were here, and you'll be remembered. You know, people can't take that away. Once your name is engraved in on a print, people can't take it away. It can't be erased. You know, like think about, like, the stones. When people engrave their names in stones and hedges and stuff like that, that stuff will never go away, you know. So, you know, I just believe that, you know, right now is the time to lock in on that just thought alone. What are we going to do to help our legacy live forever? You know, help your name live forever. Because me, I know physically I'm not going to live forever, but my soul and my spirit, my thoughts, my words, my music, you know, I want that to live forever. I want people to read about me from years and years to come. I want kids to grow up and idolize the things that I brought to this world, the ideas that I spoke, the sounds that I created. I want people to remember that. And, you know, at the end of the day, I want it to help people. I want my sounds, I want my words, my actions, my thoughts to give people a new paradigm of thinking and believing, and to teach people what it is to be here on earth. You know, what does it mean to truly be a living, breathing creature on this planet, you know, in a world that we don't understand. You know, we don't understand this world, not at all. As much as people try to make it seem like they understand what's going on, I 100% guarantee you none of us know what's really going on. And you know, science can explain this and that. They can show you what might be going on, but, you know, religion tries to act like they know what's going on. All the religious groups try to act like they know what's going on. None of them know what's really going on. I think the only way to find out what's really going on is to, one, we have to communicate with one another. Find out how people live on the other side of the planet, you know. Like, being able to communicate and get the thoughts and opinions and observations of other people who live a different life than you. I think that's key to understanding, one, how this world works and how we're supposed to be living here on Earth. We can learn a lot from people who don't live the same life as you, you know. Two, I think exploring, you know, just being able to explore and travel and stretch out, you know, like, there's so much room on this planet for all of us to have at least an acre of land on our own. You know what I mean? Like, everyone on this planet is capable of owning at least 1 acre of land, and there will still be more than enough room left over. So it's like, imagine if we just stretched out and just really spread out to find different parts of this planet that we want to inhabit and learn about. And, you know, I think that's like a really good way to just, you know, be in tune with the earth and in tune with yourself. Because being cramped up in an apartment, being cramped up in a small community and not branching out, like, you're wasting your life, you know. It's like these governments, these people who put themselves in charge of everyone, they are literally boxing us in a cage. Like, it's essentially like we're on a plantation, honestly, and outside the plantation is in a whole entire, like, civilization that we have yet to discover. But they're keeping us in this, like, this slaughterhouse, basically, this plantation slaughterhouse. And they're overworking us, they're overtaxing us, and they're basically just not babysitting, but just pacifying us with the food, the terrible foods, the sugar foods, the rigged sports games, the trash entertainment. Like years ago, like when I was growing up, entertainment, like as far as like singers and artists and movies and stuff like that, all that was at a super elite level. Like people who were in those industries were really good at what they did. Like they were elite at singing, they were great musicians, they were great actors and actresses, they were you had great products being produced in the entertainment. Yeah, it was still controlled and rigged and this and that, but at least like the people who were in it were like almost in an exclusive club of talented people. Nowadays it's not like that. Like people with the least amount of talent are getting the most headlines and shines and opportunities, and it's just really like sad. Like these kids, like for example, like when I was growing up, rap music was really like, honestly, everyone has their own opinion on it, but at least from my standpoint, I believe rap music in the early 2000s, because I was born in 96, so by the time I could like kind of like be conscious of like music and pop culture, it was about 2000, right? I would watch like music videos on the internet. This was like early internet too, so I was on the internet like when I was like 4 or 5 years old on there looking at things I shouldn't be looking at. but PG of course. But I used to watch music videos, and the music was so good, like just like the instrumentation, the musicality, the rhythms, the melodies, the harmonization between the vocalists and the bands. It was really good music. Yeah, rap music then was still talking about degrading things. It was still very degrading and not, almost like disrespectful in a way, like the way they would talk about women in their songs. Yeah, it was bad, but musically it was good. Like if you have a musical ear, you could tell this was actually quality music. Now, oh my god, it is so bad. Like yeah, the beats might sound good, like they might work musically, they might fit and be in a right key and this and that, but just the artists are just not producing good quality music. And that is the reason why like rap music has fell off so hard, is that like no new artist is producing good music. And like you have still the older artists producing good music, but it's sad, man. I remember growing up, every year there was like a list of like the freshman artists coming up, like the new artists, and at least if they had like 10 of them on there, at least 3 or 4 or 5 of them were like legit, like they're nice, you know what I mean, and they still have careers today, or they had a long career after that. Bro, every year since like 2016 maybe, every year after that, the artists have been complete trash. Like you don't even know who these freshman artists are anymore. Like back in the day, if you were a freshman artist on the list, the double XL freshman list, like you had at least 1 or 2 like hits, you know what I mean, already under your belt. Now that list, there's none of those artists have hits. I don't even know if they're even artists, honestly. I think they're just people who just take photos looking like rappers and looking like thugs, and like, because I literally don't hear their music. Like I've never heard a freshman rapper on the radio in the last 10 years, honestly. It is really sad. Oh, that baby's so cute. It's really sad, and I just don't know what's going on. I mean, I do know what's going on. It's the fact that the people running the industry are really corrupt, and they're evil, and they don't want positive music out there. They want the most degrading, low vibrational music possible, and they're willing to sell an image to people that's not true, and it's just really destructive to the young minds of this, especially the melanated community. I hear these young kids listening to like basically demon music. I call it demon music because it's It's not good. It's nothing it's inspiring you to do better or even like think, like I remember like Lil Wayne, like yeah, he would talk about women and partying, drugs, whatever, this and that, but like at least he made it like poetic. You know what I mean? Like the way he was rhyming, it was like poetic. These kids now when they're rapping, it's not poetic at all. It's just straight up like mumbo jumbo, and I'm just like, I can't understand what they're saying. Like I'm young, like I'm 29, like I'm not like an old head who just like complaining about rap. Like I literally, I don't know what these kids are saying. Like they're not punctuating their words in their raps, so it's just like a bunch of slur words over a beat that basically creates a melody, and it's really terrible. It's like almost like brain rotting music, at least back in the day when I was growing up, you can hear what the artists were saying, like every word you can hear it clear. Now I have no idea what these kids are saying, and a lot of these rappers who are doing this, they're selling out concerts, like, and there's only a handful of them who are doing it, like who are selling out concerts. It's only a handful. But like I'm like, why are these kids popular? Like why is this kid popular? I don't even want to name names, but you guys will know like what I'm talking about. Like why are they popular? Like they're not good. Like I haven't heard one good song from these guys. Like they're not on the radio. Like not at all. Like at least like I get the radio is not the best judgment of what's good and what's not good, but on the radio it's people, like the music on the radio plays to a broad audience. It's not just one type of audience. So it's like if you have a song on the radio, at least back in the day, it meant that your song can be played in different arenas, whether it be a white crowd, a black crowd, an Asian crowd, Spanish crowd. Like that's what it meant to have a song on the radio. Like that means your music was almost universal, where it could be played in different groups and in arenas. These kids with this new rap, their music can't get played in other arenas. That's why it's not on the radio, because it's just centered on one demographic of people, the young black kids, the ignorant young black kids, and they're just making money off of them, and they're brainwashing them at the same time. That's why they're selling out, not because their music is actually good. So, it's really destructive what's going on in the music industry, and I make music. I'm an artist, but I don't have any plans on being a part of the music industry because it's demonic, it's whack. Like there's no role models to even look up to in the music industry. Most people who are in it now all sold out. They all sold their souls. They all are participating in witchcraft, and it's really like it's a godless industry, honestly. And I don't care if I don't get any opportunities because of who I am and what things that I speak and put out, information I put out. I don't care. I don't care if I get shadow banned. I really don't care. I don't want the attention from these people in the industry because they're nobodies. I used to idolize these people. I used to idolize these artists and rappers and producers and DJs. I'm like, wow, like I want to be next to them. I want to be in the studio working with them. I used to write it down in my affirmations and like who I wanted to work with and shit. Now I'm like, I don't want to work with none of those people. I don't want to even want to be in the same room as those people. Why? Because those people have a dark energy connected to them. They have a dark energy attached to them, and I don't want to be around that. I don't want to rub shoulders with these people. So it's like I would rather be independent and not known by many people, but known enough where people support me, in the independent route, where I have like my own fan base, people. Even if it was like just 50 people, if I can just perform for 50 people, I would be happy just for that, like 50 people just pay me $5 each person and I would more than be happy to perform for you guys, to DJ, because I'm a DJ, I produce, I make beats, and I can also rap a little bit as well. But I just want to be able to perform, and give people an anointing. I want to anoint people with my music. So that's why I don't have any intentions on joining the industry, because they can't do anything for me that I would agree with. I'm not giving up my morals just to be a part of an industry that doesn't care about me or the goals that I have. So, a lot of people, they look at me and say, "Oh, he's crazy. He's schizophrenic." People who say that are so out of this world clueless that, like, I just laugh. Like, how are you calling somebody schizophrenic? Do you it's crazy, man. And what I'm referring to is, like, how, people like me who put out truth, who put out information that wakes up the masses and give them some type of conscious about what's going on, right? That the people who are asleep, who where their minds are still dormant in this matrix, they call us schizophrenic because they can't imagine the reality that we're telling them that is true. Because their reality is so distorted and twisted that anything outside of that is schizophrenic to them. It's crazy. It's insane. And that's the problem. You got people with so much ego walking around this planet thinking that they know everything just because they got a couple degrees and master degree this and that. They think they know everything that needs to be known. But really, they don't know anything. They just know everything that the Matrix tells them to know. There's one thing, and when I say the Matrix, I'm not talking about no woo-woo talk. I'm talking about the Matrix in sense of we're paying taxes. We're giving money to the government, but we don't have say in where the money goes. We're being charged to live in a house, in a room, when, in all honesty, it's a human right to have shelter. We're being charged for water, something that is naturally flowing through this planet. This planet is covered 70% by water. We're being charged for food, something that grows on the planet naturally. We're being charged. Overcharged for all this stuff. People who go along with this stuff and don't say anything, that's the Matrix. That's people going along with something that doesn't make sense. So really, they're schizophrenic. If it was up to me, I wouldn't pay no taxes unless I have a say in where it's going. I wouldn't be paying for any water or food or shelter, because those are basic human rights. People who go along with that or disagree with that, they're part of the Matrix. They're part of the programming of what's going on here in America and around the world. And the Matrix is deep. It's been something that's been cultivated for a long time. It's people have come together to create this Matrix, to create a society of people who don't question anything, who just go along with whatever they say. That's real schizophrenia. That is legit schizophrenia. To just go along and not question nothing, and then to say that I'm wrong for questioning things. No, you're the one that's crazy. And I plan to have children one day. I plan to have a family one day. I plan to see my family and their friends have families one day, and I want all those next generation of people to come into a world that's better than the one that I was born into. And I don't want to see any more people walking around with such egos that they can't even listen to another person's opinion that's outside of their realm of thinking. Like, it is so crazy. I remember, like, just the other day, I was telling people about how, it's not a coincidence that Dick Cheney dies and then the first Muslim mayor of New York City is elected, and then Al-Qaeda is visiting the White House all in the same frame of time. Like, And then a plane crash on that day of all these things happening. I'm like, that's not a coincidence that all these things are happening at once. And Dick Cheney died 11 years after the new World War Trade Center building opened. Are you kidding me? The same day, 11 years later, 9/11, the guy who was major in about, he was advocating a lot about going after Al-Qaeda because of 9/11, because of the plane crashing. Are you kidding me? All that happened in 1 week and some of it in the same day? That's not a coincidence. And then I have people online saying, I don't listen to anything that's not coming from a credible news source. I'm like, what? Do you realize all your credible news sources are part of this program who are making all these things happen? Like, you realize that, right? Like, your credible news sources that you only listen to. This girl online, she was like, oh, I only listen to credible news sources. I don't read Reddit posts and this and I'm like, you don't have to read a Reddit post to see the clear ritualism going on. Like, it's just common sense. The news sources that you're referring to, they're all working for the organization, for the people who are making these rituals happen. Of course they're not going to tell you about this stuff. They're not going to tell you because they don't want to tell you that they're the Matrix. They're trying to keep you from realizing that this is a Matrix that they've created, a Matrix in your mind. It's not physical. It's a Matrix in your mind to make you believe that you have to pay taxes, to make you believe that you have to pay for food, water, and shelter. It's a Matrix in your mind that they've created. And that's what I mean by getting out of the Matrix. It's all in your mind. What did Prince say in the early 2000s? He said, there's a war on your mind. And if you don't fight that war, you're going to lose. And then eventually it's going to go back to physical. It's going to go back to us being in small cubicle boxes being fed crap on a daily basis and our energy being harvested. That's what that movie The Matrix was about, essentially. So it's just, as a civilization, we have so much potential to do great things here on this planet. Like, The Matrix told you that all of our vehicles have to be gas powered by gasoline. No, they don't. The vehicles can run on water. People have created vehicles that ran on water before, and they've mysteriously died or their patent has been taken. Why? Because the Matrix doesn't want vehicles running on water. When vehicles run on water, you realize that water will eventually go back into the sky and it will start cleaning our atmosphere. And we'll be able to breathe more and be able to think better. But no, they want to cloud our atmosphere with CO2 and basically kill us from all. They have us in a cloud. This world, especially major cities, they're covered in a cloud of toxic gas. Yeah, we can't necessarily see it or touch it or feel it, but it's there. And it's shrinking our brains. It's not allowing us to think clearly. Over time, it's killing us. The food, the fluoride in the water, all this stuff is killing us over a period of time. But people don't want to talk about that. People don't want to acknowledge that. And that's the problem. We got people who are afraid to talk about it, people who don't want to break out of their matrix of thinking, and they belittle other people who do. And I don't want to see that happen anymore. So that was my thoughts for today. Like I said, we got a lot of things going on in the world, but it can be changed. We can overcome if we come together and start communicating. I think that's step number one. We must communicate with our neighbor. Know your neighbor. Know who lives next to you. Know who they are, what they can do, and what you can do, and what y'all can do together to create something in your environment, in your community. So I'll be back with more messages. So take care, everybody. Love you guys. Peace.